Okay, gotta be honest, when I hear agriculture, I don't usually picture, like, the most exciting thing in the world. Tractors, fields. But getting ready for this deep dive today, I was looking at this chapter from, it's actually a resource for teens. And wow, agriculture is so much more fascinating and honestly crucial than I ever thought.
Yeah, a lot of us, we don't really think too much about where, our food comes from, let alone everything else that agriculture is a part of. It's kind of wild. This chapter even has these activities, like there's this scavenger hunt thing that gets you thinking about that.
That scavenger hunt, it's actually a pretty good challenge. It asks you to find like 10 things just in your own house that came from agriculture. I thought, oh, easy, food, right? But then I started looking around and like so much from the furniture, clothes, even book itself, goes back to agriculture.
It really shows you how much agriculture is in basically everything we do. We tend to think of it as, just food, but it goes way beyond that. Think about cosmetics, biofuels, some medicines even. They all depend on agricultural products.
Whoa, okay, that's actually pretty mind-blowing. But let's maybe take a step back for a sec. How does this chapter actually define like what agriculture is?
It says it's the science, art, and practice of cultivating soil, growing crops, and raising animals for food, fiber, and other products. I think it's really interesting that they put art and practice in there. It's recognizing that it's not just science. It's about skills that get passed down, a deep understanding of the land, and it's that human element that connects us to what we eat, right?
I like that. It's more than just like a textbook thing. So we've talked about how agriculture is much bigger than food. This chapter uses this phrase, food systems. What does that really mean, and how does it relate to us, in our everyday lives?
Food systems is basically like the whole journey of food, from, the farm where it's grown all the way to you eating it. It includes everything in between, the processing, the packaging, how it gets moved around, distributed, and all the people and resources involved. Like even something as simple as, let's say, that coffee you had this morning. The beans might be from Colombia, the sugar from Brazil, and the cup itself, maybe materials from like Asia, who knows?
Wow, it really is like a whole global thing. But all this being connected around the world, it makes you think about like sustainability, right? The chapter talks a lot about that, but honestly, sometimes it feels like just a buzzword these days. How would you explain what sustainability actually means when we talk about agriculture?
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely more than just a trendy word. For agriculture, sustainability means making sure we can produce enough food and resources, for us now, without messing things up for future generations. It's about finding ways to farm that don't hurt the environment too much, conserving things like water and soil, and helping biodiversity.
So it's about keeping things balanced for now and the future. But how do our own choices, like when we go shopping, play into this big idea of sustainability? Can we actually make a difference?
Oh, absolutely. Every time you buy food, you're basically saying what kind of farming you want to support. Like if you choose locally grown produce, that can mean less pollution from transporting it, and it helps farmers in your area. Going for products with, sustainable certifications or labels, that encourages better farming practices.
So even the little things add up. Okay, before we finish up, we got to talk about agribusiness. I feel like that word gets thrown around a lot. What does it actually include?
Agribusiness is kind of zooming out from just individual farms. It's looking at the whole industry around agriculture, right? So it's
Mhm.
the companies that give farmers seeds, fertilizer equipment, the places that turn the raw stuff into what we buy, how that stuff gets to us, even the research and development that's always happening, making things better.
So it's like the whole economic side of things built around agriculture. This whole deep dive has definitely been eye-opening for me. Seeing how complex and important agriculture is, it's way more than just putting food on the table, that's for sure. What's been the most surprising thing for you?
For me, it's realizing that even though people see agriculture as this old school thing, it's actually constantly changing. There's so much new stuff happening from like high tech farming with computers to these new ideas about being sustainable.
It's a good reminder that agriculture isn't just about the past, it's shaping our future too. If you're feeling curious after this, I'd say take a look around your place. Try that scavenger hunt from the chapter. You might be surprised by how much of what you see every day comes from those fields and farms that, like, are the basis of our world.
Yeah, you never know what you'll find.
Exactly. All right, that's it for our agriculture deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.